Moving. We up in here. Welcome to the Barrel City Podcast. HasaniTheGreat. We doing live. We doing it different. I know I got different lighting going on and shit, but we up in here. So what's good, bro? I wanted to go over and just start this new wave. You know, I'm doing a quick little follow up. I'm so far behind on just shooting shit. So y'all keep prayers and everything with a nigga. You know, hap dash crashed up for real. Got in an accident, motherfucker just recovering back from a cold. So sorry if you've been looking for a video for a minute. This is me coming back. Life been going, bro. Got different shit going on, but we're gonna talk about this Barrel City shit right here, man. First and foremost, I'm gonna get into it. I know y'all been following that football. I wanted to get my points on the Tua situation and the fact that how this, as you heard me break it down and get into depth on the fact of what changed and everything else with Tua, what the whole situation came about with, how I feel about his concussion situation. I want to talk about that motherfucking concrete. I want to talk about how I've been seeing that situation. But most importantly, I got an interview that I will be stitching and coming back with, most definitely with the situation of me speaking to a guest of mine. So I will be detailing that, but I wanted to put out a quick little, quick video, do some stuff real quick, and speak about some things in general of just what's been going on and really how I've been feeling about those particular two topics, and give y'all something at least to listen to or watch for at least as much as the attention span goes, and give y'all deeper content. So let me get into it. So the whole Tua situation, how I feel about how he got going on, what his place is with just handling the concussions and shit, and his homeboy just even jumping off the cheetah himself, and how that situation been. And if you don't know who the cheetah is, number 10, Hill himself, and just that whole situation what's been going on with Miami, which is just so crazy. So with Tua, everything going down, how he got hit by Damar Hamlin, which was probably the most hilarious thing out of it. Not funny, but kind of like ha weird, because in a situation of that being the person that particularly puts him in the concussion protocol and just literally can put his whole future into destruction, and then you really looking at his situation and how that even came about and how he even ended up in that situation is even more crazy, because Damar's career we thought was over. He was a backup last year. Most people weren't thinking he was gonna make it back. It was kind of like a Chris Bosh situation with the Miami Heat, and more or less like how that vibe been, and how they particularly were, stuck on the situation and how that even came about. It just was different for me. I felt like it was a whole different vibe, a whole different energy, especially on this concussion with Tua. Looking at how much he endured and had to battle back from the original injury and how those things even came up, it really just shows me so many different ways and how things can be so much more volatile, especially with our time and our life. I think most of us don't look at the bigger picture when it comes to what God wants from us, what the Most High even has in consideration in our life. So with him being put in that situation and now him having his whole NFL future into question, I think that's just something in which a lot of people giving their opinion, but most importantly, I think the opinion comes back to Tua and his family, his wife, his children, the family he created, and just looking at that situation, I kind of look at it from a point of view where I kind of see that we can end up putting ourselves so much in his shoes that we really don't even know what he really got going on. I think most of us really consider ourselves to be his kind of people, but we really ain't in his circle. And that can be something where we can create a slippery slope. Same thing with a man who works a 9 to 5, your back bad, your heart bad, all your parts ain't working, but you still gonna work that 9 to 5. You still gonna put that hustle in, regardless on the fact that you thinking about getting a pension at 60. I ain't trying to be no hater, but at the end of the day, your life is the only thing you got connecting, especially with your connection with your children. If you married, your wife, most importantly. So it's like, we look at that and just like, all I say is pray for him and just hope he make the right decision with himself, his body, his mind, his spirit, and where he could take himself into a further space. Because in regards to like how we look at it and how we think about how he got everything set up, we really don't know this man's situation, and really is like detailing what his whole whereabouts is going to be at. So I think for us as just people that watch and observe, we really don't see it in the same way that he sees it. You know what I'm saying? I think we can sometimes consider ourselves the if it was me situation when it ain't you. You ain't in that situation, you ain't in that field, you ain't really putting in the work that you particularly think you putting in. So you got to really take into consideration what your motion is, and what your motion is directly based on your circumstances, because you never gonna know what you gonna do in a circumstance like that. So when I look at it from a point of view and just like how we looking at his life, and we looking at how Tua can really, develop, and, just getting that money, getting that deal, getting in a certain place, I think we can kind of get to a place where a situation can be, subjectively an opinionated guess. And I think that's a lot of the stuff I like to connect to the fact that not just the opinion based on the fact that all of us have an opinion, even if we don't agree, but we got to be rational and realistic on the things in which will benefit and can actually help others in their life. I think in regards to us actually being prayed up, spiritually in the best place, and actually considering other people and not seeing ourselves and everybody and just trying to subject everybody to how we feel about things, I think we should just look at Tua's situation and just pray for him, getting that conception of what he should and what he shouldn't do. But most importantly, he got the money, he got the situation. We don't want another Junior Seau. We don't want another Adrian Brown, quote unquote. We don't want another there's so many people to name, and that's what's so terrible. Le'Veon Bell, that's the one that came to my mind. These people who are constructively being attacked and having these, depressive mood swings, because the biggest thing is that I've perceived and understood from the information that I was given is, when you do something for a long time, that goes from sailors to fucking railroad men to the nigga that low-key being a janitor, it's when you got a consistent basis of life and living, and you put your source to something that isn't, well, I ain't gonna say it isn't, but something that really just ain't sustainable for real. I think that sustainability comes from something that we can see from ourselves, and we think we know, and we think we get, but it really don't even connect to us personally. I think we really start connecting to other people more than we actually connect to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So with me keeping up with that and that motion, I think a lot of us don't even really take into consideration that the work that we have to put in as individuals and the things in which other people encounter may not be the same. So that's why I say just pray for him, and hopefully he makes the right decision for his life and what he wants to do for his family. Hill, Mr. Cheetah himself, the situation I want to speak on with police brutality. A lot of people don't even get the angle of understanding what police brutality really entails, and really understanding the basis of, the respect of a man, or the respect of law enforcement. And I think people take law enforcement and thinking to enforce laws, you have to be a dickhead, and you ain't got to be a dickhead. And I think a lot of people get in a control space. A lot of people think because he got a gun, everybody got guns here. Everybody could shoot, everybody go to the range, everybody do the same shit. So it's like, what details and makes a officer for me, and I'm going to say just for my personal self, is a person that I can relate to in the sense of communicating as a human being. And I don't disrespect no man the same way I don't expect no man to disrespect me. Gun, no gun, baton, with the baton, or without a baton, I meant to say. And we sit here and we'll take ourselves in a situation where we start to encounter our own emotions and thinking that we know what's best and what we can do for others and what we can enforce on others, and that ain't gonna work. So when it came to the Tyreek situation, the biggest thing that I was more slighted by, the sense of where people's ignorance was on the fact of, you know, you if you're gonna show respect, why you roll your window up? Listen, at the end of the day, even after I don't respect you no more, it's still for you to be a man of when you get put in a certain level of authority. It's like you doing petty games with somebody that literally, you know, is older than you. You know what I'm saying? Like you got a youngin with you got a little nigga with you. You trying to move him up and shit. You trying to give him game. He ain't eating. The nigga ain't biting on the puppy bait. You know what I'm saying? The nigga ain't, you know, drinking his milk. Even with the Most High, same thing. You ain't drinking your milk. You know, instead of God flashing out on you, and he understand you drinking milk. You a little baby. You a little pup. You taking it to a whole level, you know, level of how situations really come about. So, as I always tell people, you gotta always stay on your pivot on a situation where if somebody ain't eating or taking what you putting in there and you feeding them, that don't mean you need to sit there and detail to them that they need to do something different, or they need to take a situation to another point of view, or take it to another escalated like situation. You just gotta keep that shit pushing. And for him, it wasn't even just off the fact that when he went to the disrespect from there, it was how bro even spoke to him even on the first interaction. And I think a lot of people gotta understand, even I'm a brash person. I'm straight to you. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. If I love you, you gonna hear me say some of the most raw shit, because I'm gonna keep it 1K with you, because God placed me around you to keep it a whole buck with you. It's a little nigga or somebody else that could give it to you real calm, but this world don't rotate on no sweet rolling. You know what I'm saying? It's principles and shit. So I think a lot of people don't get the principles. I think niggas is still thinking shit, you know, they mama house and shit. Niggas can move like they move, talk like they talk, and that ain't how it's going out here. Niggas will really knock your fucking head off, blow your fucking shit off. So you gotta keep shit real like GP and keep it honest. You know, God fearing, don't get me wrong. But the game is the game. God told you that when it, you know, we was moving with the Romans. You know, even with the Romans, them niggas was cutthroat. They was going, they moving. But at the end of the day, you ain't gotta move the same way. But you still gotta be, you know, gotta have that perception and shit, realistic of what you really doing. You know what I'm saying? So when it came down to really how homie was checking him and moving on him, it's just certain shit you just can't do to no grown man. It's just what it is. People think because they get guns and they listen. Y'all need to stop taking that consideration just based off somebody killing somebody based on disrespect is okay. But when it comes to street shit, niggas who really do shit like that, who ain't law enforcement, you say opposite. Because you hire somebody based on the fact that somebody you voted hired somebody to then take over a job does not make them having the same rights as the person that you hired. It does not. Because I hired Tony, he don't mean he can get Joni, the goddamn crackhead, to run the motherfucking back gate for me when it comes to the fact that we working somewhere and we need something to be maintained with certain level of diligence and security. We can't move like that. But I think a lot of people take that consideration and thinking they mind, oh yeah, we gonna be able to make some motion with these niggas, and I let somebody play in my face based on the fact that I feel like I should let somebody be able to play in my face, and somebody can sit there and move like they moving and act like they acting and do what they doing. But at the end of the day, I don't take none of that to heart or no situation like that. You know what I'm saying? I think in reality, we have to be realistic on what we got going on and what we got, you know, be perceptive of reality for other people. Nobody's just gonna let you fucking shit on them and then you think they supposed to be like, yeah, it's raining, based on the fact he mad because, you know, homie pushing the Lambo and he told bro not to do all that weird junk when he was bumping all of them in the nigga car. See, that's another thing. Disrespect somebody's property. That's another thing that they should address them on. Listen, even if you don't like if a nigga ain't really checking with you like that, you ain't gonna ever disrespect somebody's property. It just was so many stages he broke as a grown man. He understood off of jealousy and some hate shit that we allowed too much of. So I feel like that was just a situation where, you know, we got to be more diligent on the fact that what these situations come with a repercussion. That's what I'm saying, repercussion. And I think he got the proper repercussions. You know, I think in the sense of legally, in the sense of United States and justice, I feel like we all deserve that level of rights and consideration of somebody else's property and space. So, you know, I'm just saying, at the end of the day, when we look at Tyreek, and we, cheated himself, and we look at the situation and how they drug him out. Calais Campbell, a great love interest for us Jaguar fans. At the end of the day, and I ain't gonna say just us Jaguar fans. I am a Floridian nigga. I gotta go with Jags, on the fact that Calais was a great man. He did a great deal of good work out here in the community, and we appreciate him for that. He was a solid man. He stayed solid. He had a great relationship with the police of JSO, if that matters to people. But I think even in the sense of where he was just trying to de-escalate a situation, in the sense where he was like, hey, I have a relationship. Remember, man of the year now. Police didn't just see no random Negro that was, I'm not trying to say, it's Jalen Ramsey, because we don't know the rapport of Jalen Ramsey in policing. But when Calais Campbell moved, he was man of the year based on the fact that his works in the community. So it was more or less that situation blew over in the fact that where even when he sat there and he whipped out and put the stick out on people and threatened them and said all that other stuff towards that man, I think in reality, everything came back in full circle for everything, because that officer took it too far, and he knew it took it too far when he popped off on Calais Campbell. Calais Campbell was really not one of them niggas that was turning up and doing some weird shit. That was weak behavior. He showed weak behavior. He showed ability not to communicate. Most people say you supposed to fucking bow down, lay down. Them times are gone. If you a cop, I'm so sorry to say this. In the realities of what you want to do for the worst and helping people, you want to communicate with people. You want to de-escalate. If you don't, this ain't the situation for you, bro. Your time is coming. If it's that places can't be policed because you can't know how to handle your ego at the door, so be it. That's what's going to happen. But in reality of the fact that when we handle situations and we address each other as men, we got to address each other as men with a level of respect for another man. You know what I'm saying? We can't just pop off on another man and thinking it's supposed to be chilly. So at the end of the day, I feel like, there's both sides can cut off ego, but the person who is supposed to cut off their ego first is the person that actually gets paid to cut off their ego the most. And, Tyreek ain't in a job where you don't see him without an ego. You have to have an ego. To be the best of anything, especially in a sports world, you see these people gotta have an ego. Some form or another, it's the ego. Even if it's a positive ego, a little ego, an ego that, they sit there and they this most strategic quarterback that's so likable and all that, and still got an ego. He still got a place he gotta go when he gotta turn into a dog. So I think that's just the reality of we seeing the world start to try to speak on things even when the footage is coming, and it's going to get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and more footage and more things being put out, and it's going to take more and more and more to actually deny the situations of what's going on. Do I feel like people hide under victimism and try to be somebody they ain't? Heck yeah. But in reality, when I think about the Tyreek Hill situation and just looking at the whole, scope of what he was going to do, and the fact of how that situation went, it was discouraging. It was very, very, very bad for people of any ethnicity. I feel like it was a very bad representation of Miami, but it also shows the light of which we need to handle bigger things involving policing and many other things. But those are the deep things that I felt on that situation, and just looking at that topic from that point of view. So, you know what I'm saying? So I'm a roll it into another thing. The concrete shit, probably the funniest shit ever, bro. I wanted to speak on that just off the fact of how that whole shit going on with Caribou. You know what I'm saying? That shit is fucking crazy for sure. So that Caribou shit, I have to touch on the concrete Caribou shit real briefly, because I gotta get out these people parking lot. I seen Popo about 3 times and blocked like a couple times. So I'm gonna talk on this shit briefly, because this is when I got a little bit of time. Your boy moving. I gotta and I got some different shit going on. But I'm gonna get hard on that shit. I'm not even gonna lie. But the concrete shit, as I was saying before, I can't really get mad at the fact. Okay, here the thing is, what Yachty said was solid. If you don't know this nigga right here, her shit, use Goofy. I picked up the cadence of this nigga pen after I listened to the Jumbotron shit. And then I started listening to the City Girl shit. And I was like, okay, I can see it's the same thing with Drake had with Quentin Miller. You start seeing their flow. It's like, best way to describe it, I think it's like slap boxing. After you realize a nigga slap box style, you realize how this nigga slap box. Same thing, boxing, UFC. It's a style to this shit. Of course, it's hip-hop, but I peeped the shit like this. Buddy had a whole different play for Shorty that he wasn't really trying to put on. And he really tried to sit here and play us on the fact that we knew exactly what he was doing. He just tried to play it like we didn't know what was going on. But because this nigga set her up in the 360, all them niggas in the 360 got mad. But I recognized some A&R shit. Don't get me wrong. He had some A&R hits. He had some moves where it was not even A&R. I got a different name for the shit. It's a different name for the shit. I'm saying A&R and shit, but the proper terminology, the nigga that got the bread, the nigga that makes the star, the nigga that been in the game, that a lot of people don't know their name, and Yachty did that, in which he made himself a name and started looking more like P. Diddy in the game than he should have. Because when Shorty, started acting funny, she built the ego that he had, and she was talking to people crazy, and he doing all that, and he think he can control the bitch. One rule that we learned in the game, you ain't controlling no damn body, and especially no bitch who thinks she bad, and she out here rapping the shit you telling her, she believing that she ain't gotta fuck for the motherfucking bread, she ain't doing all that. That's when you knew you was fucking up. The nigga gave her the words that she was literally living by, being outside in a lot of different moves of being like, I ain't no outside chick, I got responsibilities, I'm loyal, this, all that. When he implemented that, he set it up. She wasn't rapping no city girl shit. She had a solid motherfucking play. Where he was wrong. Even though my nigga did put 90K, talking about he dressing niggas and doing all that other shit around here, talking about how he was fucking taking the whole pie. Pretty much niggas was gonna be eating motherfucking sunflower seeds. That's what we heard. Niggas ain't gonna make get no plates, no journals, no none of that. He talking about he had all them niggas nuts. No Diddy. But he was Diddying niggas. And especially how he had talking about he writing nigga shit, he closing the bitch, he was writing the shit, not just writing the shit, he was motherfucking engineering the shit. Motherfucker had the whole fucking pie almost, right? And he blows his whole fucking get quick scheme with some bullshit talking about some I'm so hurt, and blah 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 blah. Nigga ran his mouth like a bitch. That's some Drake shit. Did too much talking about how he gonna make his shits and do all that. He ain't had to do all that. He tweaked out on that. Act like he really had motion when he didn't. Sat there trying to build some motion up with that QC shit. When in reality, all he had to do was just be quiet, let the bitch sell the motherfucking record, let her run her fucking mouth, and Diddy her. But he did all that motherfucking new gen shit, and he had all the Diddy moves. He had the jigger moves, the Diddy moves, the motherfucking Harvey Weinstein moves, all the petty old moves, but then I had the execution. So we just seen what a motherfucker get, like all the money, have all the shit, have your royalties, all your shit, and he blew the bag over some motherfucking words over the fact where bitch probably came with some legal shit. Probably why he got caught. Thought he caught ass with the figure 4, and he was the one in the 4. God damn it, he was figured out. But he's still, at the end of the day, locking the shit up, trying to do the best he can to keep her from putting out shit. I think in reality, he had so much potential with his pen. Now it's blown the fuck up because he can put himself out there. He blew the whole streets up. He got everybody knowing the bullshit. And I think now everybody got to pay attention. Everybody ain't getting the Megan Thee Stallion deals, nigga. He thought he got you with the Megan Thee Stallion deals. He thought he thought trying to give you the 15K. That's your whole deal, nigga. You made 15K. Motherfucking Pandora bracelet is the fucking achievement you got. But at the end of the day, that's what my take is on Concrete. Straight cut to the motherfucking middle. He talked too damn much. I'd have had that look. Hey, she was still working, doing all that talking, still working. Shit, like a old boss I had before. Tap on the leg. I don't know what to tell you. It's cooked. You done. I'm still gonna collect my check off on you. You know what I'm saying? So, man, they had potential, bro. But he blew that shit up. All over some fucking ego shit. Back to that ego. You can't be the boss and got an ego. You gotta let that ego go, man. You can't make no money with no ego. especially in the fact when you're working with subordinates. You gotta have a level of respect, and you gotta also have a level of understanding when your ego gotta cut off, because some other people gotta blow up before you, and you gotta know how to play that backfield, especially when you trying to get other motherfuckers to make their legs running. We know who Lil Yachty is. We still trying to figure out the rest of them. What can we really say? He blew his own bag up, man. So that's the Barrel City podcast for you. We just got this quick little slide. I already gonna have everything set up. We got it dead. I hope y'all love the scripture. We got the motion. We got the music. We got it all coming. But I got different shit coming together, man. I just gotta get this on the run, man. It's been busy. It's been a fight, man. Pray for you. I'm praying for y'all. Hey, happy birthday to everybody. Shout out to the Virgos. Shout out to everybody that's out here been grinding. Put all things to what it is. You know, new cat's gonna be coming out soon. Just projects, we gotta get shit lined up, man. I got people I still gotta tap in with. I'm telling you, we all up in here, man. This the Barrel City podcast. I love y'all. We in here. Yeah. Big money. Bop.